Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, a hilarious exploration of 4th of July parties, Hitler's election, and the international banking conspiracy nobody asked for. Stanley Kubrick's The Shining is a masterwork of ambiguity, subtext, and enough conspiratorial potential to keep armchair theorists busy for centuries. The film's enigmatic final image, a photograph of Jack Torrance in the Overlook Hotel's Gold Room dated July 4, 1921, has perplexed audiences for decades. What does it mean? Why the 4th of July? And what, if anything, does this have to do with Adolf Hitler's rise to power or Kubrick's alleged thoughts on international banking? Buckle up, because we're diving into the wacky, weird, and deeply uncomfortable waters of historical context and Kubrickian mischief. The 4th of July, 1921, fireworks, jazz, and Hitler's rise? Let's start with the obvious. July 4th, 1921, is an American date of celebration, a day for fireworks, barbecues, and poorly sung renditions of the Star-Spangled Banner, but for the historically inclined, it's also part of the timeline leading to Adolf Hitler's ascension in Germany. While 1921 wasn't the year Hitler officially became Führer, it was the year he took control of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, NSDAP, cementing his role as its leader. The date in The Shining therefore becomes more than just an innocuous snapshot of a party. It ties the Overlook's glitzy gold room directly to the seeds of global catastrophe. The celebratory image juxtaposes America's independence with the ominous rise of a figure who would later upend the world. In true Kubrick fashion, it's both darkly ironic and a subtle dig at humanity's collective tendency to party on the edge of a moral abyss. Jack Torrance, Hitler, and the Eternal Party. Jack Torrance's presence in the photograph symbolises his assimilation into the Overlook's sinister history, a history built on cycles of violence and power. The hotel, with its opulent interiors and ominous history, becomes a microcosm of systemic evil, much like the world events brewing in 1921. The Eternal Party, the Gold Room's never-ending 4th of July bash, mirrors the decadent detachment of the Roaring Twenties. Beneath the glitter lies the rot of financial exploitation, inequality, and global tensions. Jack's inclusion in this world is a chilling reminder of how easily individuals can become complicit in broader systems of oppression and violence. Hitler and the national stage, just as Jack is pulled into the Overlook's orbit, Hitler was propelled to prominence by a mix of economic despair, populist rhetoric, and systemic failures. Both figures are emblematic of how charisma and ambition can warp into destructive forces when fed by the right or wrong circumstances. Kubrick's alleged views on Hitler and banking. Now let's wade into even murkier territory. Kubrick's alleged statement that Hitler was 90% right. Before we break out the pitchforks, it's crucial to contextualize what Kubrick reportedly meant. He wasn't endorsing Hitler's atrocities, but rather critiquing the role of international banking systems, specifically the Rothschild banking family, which Hitler infamously vilified in his propaganda. Kubrick, a Jewish filmmaker, was deeply fascinated by power structures and how they shape human behavior. His comment likely reflects his cynicism about financial elites and systemic inequality, rather than an endorsement of Nazi ideology. In the context of The Shining, this skepticism plays out in the Gold Room, a space where wealth, power, and moral decay intersect. The Rothschild conspiracy. The Rothschild family has long been the target of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories, linking them to global banking control. Kubrick's mention of this trope, if true, is less about perpetuating the myth and more about exploring how power is concentrated and wielded irresponsibly. The Overlook Hotel, with its luxurious interiors and ghostly manipulations, becomes a stand-in for these unseen forces. Banking and the Overlook. The Overlook's history, built on Native American burial grounds, mirrors the exploitative systems Kubrick critiques. Its grandeur is a facade, masking the atrocities required to sustain it. Similarly, Kubrick saw banking as a system that perpetuates inequality while presenting itself as a beacon of progress. The 4th of July as a symbol of duality. By setting the photograph on the 4th of July, Kubrick underscores a key theme in The Shining: duality. The holiday represents freedom and independence, yet it also carries the weight of historical contradictions: colonialism, inequality, and exploitation. The Gold Room Party embodies this duality, celebrating excess while erasing the cost of that luxury. American hypocrisy. The Overlook's 4th of July party symbolizes America's ability to celebrate ideals while ignoring the darker aspects of its history. From the genocide of Native Americans to its financial entanglements with Nazi Germany, the nation's history is as haunted as the hotel itself. Global implications. The 4th of July party isn't just about America, it's a reminder of how interconnected history is. The date links American independence to global events like Hitler's rise, illustrating how actions in one part of the world ripple across the globe. Conclusion: Kubrick's twisted history lesson. The final image of The Shining isn't just enigmatic, it's a historical Rorschach test. By placing Jack Torrance in a photograph dated July 4, 1921, Kubrick ties the Overlook's cyclical violence to broader themes of global power, financial exploitation, and moral decay. Whether he intended it as a critique of the Federal Reserve, international banking, or humanity's tendency to party while the world burns, the result is a chillingly absurd commentary on the nature of power. So, the next time you watch The Shining and see that final photograph, remember, it's not just a spooky ending. It's a Kubrickian cocktail of historical irony, economic critique, and the eternal question of whether we're all just ghosts at the party. Cheers to that, and maybe keep an eye on the bartenders.